Hey, how y'all doing this morning? Of course, I guess it's afternoon now. We just got back a little after 12:30 from North Carolina. Had a good time down there. Met a lot of fine people, and got to do a little pulling for a good cause. We're glad to be home. Anyway, didn't get a tractor church up last week. Figured I better not miss this one. Kind of been on my mind, thinking about a powerful leader, most powerful man in the free world, um, who was not popular with everybody. Uh, he was a very strong force and a strong ruler, tough ruler, who for a time lost his position, and then after a period of time regained it, and once again became the most powerful man in the world. And no, I'm not talking about Donald J. Trump. Talking about way back in the Bible, in the Old Testament, King Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, it's a interesting story. King Nebuchadnezzar, he was not what you call a godly man, a righteous man, man that served God or was knowledgeable of him. He's very confident and ruled well. But even though he was not necessarily what you would call a righteous man, a follower of God, he was used by God. God used him in his position. And we read in God's word that the Lord guides kings' hearts. I'm sure he also guides presidents' hearts in modern times. But we read in, let me see where it's at. Hold on. We read in Daniel chapter 4. Looks like it's verse 25. I'm not going to read a whole lot, but just going to read the very last portion of that verse 25 of chapter 4. And then you can go to the book of Daniel in your King James Bible if you want to get the right words, the right story. Everyone, you got to go with the King James. Met a fella over the weekend that reminded me to put a plug in for the King James. Anyhow, God removed him from his position, King Nebuchadnezzar, his position of power, world ruler, for a time. And it says here, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. God does pay attention to the affairs of men. It says, till thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. God rules here in large and small things. He doesn't micromanage, but he does guide kings' hearts at times. And King Nebuchadnezzar was removed from power till the time came that he acknowledged that true power comes from God, from above. And then he was restored to his position of ruler and potentate, most powerful ruler in the world, and was used by God in many ways. Well, back in Bible times, God would at times use an evil, ungodly king or nation to punish his people for misbehavior and get them back on the right track. God can also, for kings and rulers who want to serve him, he can use them for good. Now, I'm not trying to draw any conclusions or anything. I'm just, it's a similarity from back then, and I know Donald Trump is not necessarily what you would call a Christian man. He has not been. Now, what he is now, I don't know. I ain't judging him. God had a purpose for him. He allowed us to have him govern our country for a time. He took that away from him. Evil men, he allowed evil men to be successful in their schemes to subvert the election. And this time, he allowed them to not be successful in subverting the outcome of the election. That's not arguable that occurred. Whether or not you like or agree with Donald Trump, he hopefully has had experiences, particularly that near assassination experience, that would cause him to look to God and ask for his guidance, and maybe even accept the truth of the gospel. I know he's been presented the gospel by several different people. But I just thought that was an interesting parallel. You have a ruler back then, strong ruler, whose power was taken away from him and then restored, and then now, in modern times, we also have that. You like him or hate him, Trump is a very strong personality. And just thought that was an interesting parallel. God took Nebuchadnezzar out of power till he would understand and know that the Most High rules in the affairs of men here. Who knows what he's done to teach Donald Trump in his time away from the office of president. Let's all hope and pray that everything that God has taught him will be beneficial in his governing us for betterment, and being able to reverse a lot of evil that's been done by politicians who are not looking for the best for us. They're looking for their own betterment, or have an agenda to bring about some sort of liberal utopia or whatever. So please join me, no matter how you feel about him, in praying for our now restored to the presidency, President-elect Donald Trump, and our country, so that we might be governed in a way that is pleasing to God, that he will bless our country once again, and that we might give him the glory. All right, hope you have a great day. I'll catch you later. I gotta go take a nap. See ya.